motorcycle. That's cool.
Hey there.
Another derelict vessel has been found. All hands aboard were dead, and the signs point to Varun's zealots. The call has gone out for both Freestar Collective and United Colonies Security to unite and do something about this common threat. But cooperation is in short supply after the Colony War.
Why do you need this big thing in order to dispense just audio, essentially? 'Cause this like makes me assume that like there's like a picture that would come up.
Has resulted in a stalemate. Several areas currently zoned as residential.
Centaurian Arsenal. I guess so. It's cool. Different guns.
There's nothing that ensures personal safety and security the way a firearm can. Welcome to Centaurian Arsenal. It is my absolute pleasure to assist you with any purchases or questions you may have. All sales are final, but that won't matter because you will undoubtedly be pleased with your purchase. You have my word.
Let's see what you have for sale. What would you recommend? You take this all pretty seriously.
Is that a surprise? These are potentially matters of life and death we're talking about here.
I guess if you're buying the gun to kill people and not just because you like the way that guns look and feel and stuff, what would you recommend?
Well, that's not a simple question, is it? It all depends on who's asking.
Me?
I have my own personal favorites, but I wouldn't presume to know yours. Tell me, were you to find yourself in the unfortunate position of needing to use a weapon, what suits you best? Something up close and personal? Rapid fire? Is precision a consideration?
It's just easier if things explode. Or everything explodes. Oh, I was just asking. I don't care as long as I'm still standing at the end. I like to keep my distance when I can. Definitely up close and personal. I mean, in games, for the most part, like single player, I'm definitely a sniper. When it comes to multiplayer, I'm definitely close and personal. I like to keep things from distance.
Ah, yes. Well, then personally, I would point you towards Combatech. Please, take a look.
Already got this. Got that. That is a fancy looking gun. It is 26,000 fucking credits. Holy. It's an expensive gun. How many mods did it have? 7 of 8. And it only does 30 damage? For 26,000 credits, it only does 31 damage? I don't even have rounds for this. Machine pistol. Some sort of laser gun? Oh yeah, laser pistol. Rattler. Can't wait till we get to start customizing our own weapons. Apollo Tower.
Last stop, Apollo. My favorite. And we can afford it. Mercury is much cheaper. Got the mortgage approval signed.
Floor is inaccessible.
Got the best view of the city.
How dare you? Quite a bit of people outside at night. I can't really tell what the time is. Does it say on my like thing? Local time 5:33 UT. United time, I'm assuming. So it's 5:33 in the morning, or I'm assuming.
That movie was epic.
Definitely better than the last Interceptor.
But why did they replace the hunter? I thought the
Floor
actress was
restricted.
amazing.
She turned him down.
Chunks, here's our fast food restaurant. Wow. Wowie, wow, 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 wow. Just like I would expect from a fast food restaurant. Chunk Cocoa. And it's a mess too.
Welcome to Chunks.
See,
Please
they
choose your
have
chunks.
cosmic red apple, baked potato, Mongolian beef. I'm assuming that's like rice. Pumpkin pie. Ooh, pumpkin pie sounds good. Red cheesecake also sounds good.
Thanks for
Poached
choosing
egg.
Chunks. Which chunks would you like today?
Cheesesteak. That a square cheeseburger. Oh, that looks kind of interesting. Cabinet rug and Cola Zero. So they have 2 drink options. What is that for?
Welcome to Chunks, home of the best chunks in the settled systems.
Renewable. They have 2 drink options in the chunk thing. That's crazy. I have to know whether like the drinks are like just gelatinous or like they're just in a package that's square and you just drink from the package.
You've chosen Chunks. What a great choice. What chunks can I get you?
What exactly are chunks made of?
Chunks are the highest quality ingredients sourced from all over the settled systems, and I forget the rest.
Lol. How accurate. I would like to buy some chunks.
I'm happy to serve you.
You don't seem very happy. Apple, Mongolian beef, red cheesecake. Cola. A cola flavored chunk food cube. Package for freshness. So it is like a solid, like it's a liquid that's been turned into a solid. So it's like probably gelatinous, right? That does not sound good, honestly. Like, I'm not a soda person, but like that does not sound good. To eat your soda? Same thing with this, like it's a wine chunk. That does not sound good. Wine already doesn't taste that great to begin with. It's okay. Nope, can't go there. That looks good.
All of us. There is simply no parallel to the food you will find here. One taste, and I'm sure you'll agree.
I'd like to see a menu, please. This place looks expensive. It kind of does.
The Dawn's Roost represents the highest quality, from the ingredients to the decor. No expense is spared. Anyone who has sampled our offerings will assure you it is all worth it.
Probably. No doubt.
Yes, of course.
A lot of wine, I can see. Chunk wine. Oh my god, it is like a It's like a gelatinous cube thing. Oh man, that is so nasty. That is so nasty. That looks good. You know, I've never had a beef Wellington before. And the funny thing is, I see them on TikTok all the time, like people making them, and I'm like, I had no idea this was a common like food. Like, I've never had one, and I never will if it's 1,000 credits, honestly. Beef tenderloin and prosciutto baked in a pastry shell served with cream sauce. It does look good. And the ones on TikTok I see look really good. Liver pate. Interesting. Mochi multi-pack. Trilobites. Small alien arthropods. Salted. And served with whipped butter. That might be tasty. I'm gonna be honest, it might be tasty.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Especially if you can like eat the whole like thing in one go.
Best drinks in town, hands down.
Style among the stars. Trident. Luxury lines. Trident. Luxury lines. A universe of leisure. Is that like a ship or something? Elite. Oh, it's like elite? Elite clothers? That's cool. I didn't realize that at first. Residential district discovery.
So, what's the point?
Of what?
This? Is it some sort of art? A Zen garden? What?
It's a communal art installation. It's supposed to look nice.
I guess. But I'm just saying, you could have a whole bat-ball field or some food stands. Something useful.
It's always something with you.
Wow. I don't know if I would ever talk to my significant other like that. I don't know, it looks pretty. I mean, if it's one of those things that you're not allowed to interact with, then yeah, that kind of seems silly. But like, honestly, this looks like something like kids would like run around and jump through. I could definitely see myself like jumping through these as a kid. Like, that's kind of cool.
After an hour of whining, they're finally out here.
They're just sitting on the grass. They should be playing.
Do you want to go another 3 rounds with them?
There's slides. Like right there.
Yeah, at least they're outside.
It's a beautiful day today.
You say so, kid.
My parents are wiped. I wish they'd just take a nap or something.
I was right in the middle of a game when they marched me out here.
How dare they?
All they want to do is play on their computers. All day.
I can't imagine
At
why.
least they're not fighting. We save so much money to buy a place here for the green space in the parks, and the kids never use them.
There's no one to play with.
Yeah, I'm assuming it has to be like some sort of luxury liner or something like that.
I wish that bartender at the viewport would stop complaining to security. I don't know what she lost, but she won't get it back by annoying us.
But Sheila had such fire in her. She could have been anything.
I miss her too, but after the accident, it's a mercy she went the way she did.
Even an extra day or two with her, that would have been the blessing. I miss my Sheila every day.
I miss my daughter too, but we've so many other things to be thankful for. I think we're still recovering from the colony war.
The colony war was pointless. It makes me ashamed to be a citizen of the UC.
I mean, that's how I feel about most of the armed conflicts that America has been in probably the last like 30 years or more. Shameful. Not saying that people who served are shameful, by the way. Just saying that, like,
Hope you're not here for the apartment on the 8th floor.
the government as a whole saying that this is something that we needed to be involved in is kind of shameful. So we've explored over here. Does that go anywhere? Does it look like it? It looks like it ends in there. Back this way. Embassy District. Just kind of like walked all the way over there. This is, again, I'm gonna keep saying it is a very pretty game. I have to give it to you, Bethesda. I'm actually impressed with how good it looks. Although I will say that your water like features are much to be desired. I think you could have like spent slightly more time to make this look more palatable. I feel like the water in literally Skyrim looked better. Not very much better, but it did look better. Although it's been a long time since I've played Skyrim without mods, so maybe I don't know what I'm talking about.
It's neck and neck. Really, there's no bad choices this season. Rumors abound.
I'm sorry, I really can't afford to be distracted. I need to get to the bottom of this.
You seem to be staring at a tree. Is something wrong? You sound concerned.
Yes. Concerned is an understatement. I work for the scientific division of MAST. I've been studying this tree for quite some time, and it appears to be exhibiting some worrying signs. Are you familiar with this particular specimen?
Nope.
Do you understand its importance?
Nope.
Look, I have a lot of work to do here. If you're just going to gawk, I'd ask that you move on. If you can actually assist me, however, I would appreciate it. I don't normally solicit help from random passersby, but it seems an exception is necessary. Would you be willing to retrieve some additional data for me?
Kind of busy right now. I might be interested if there's something in it for me. I like to help.
Well, thank you. That's unexpected. There's a
Sorry.
series of biosensors I've placed in various locations around New Atlantis, all calibrated to gather pertinent information. They've been running for long enough that I think it's time to collect and analyze their findings. If you would bring them to me, that would save time.
Okay. Fetch quest for the win. I believe I came from this area, but I can't tell. That's where Thingamabobber is. I wish there was a local map. I don't know why they couldn't add a local map or have a local map anyway, because Fallout and Elder Scrolls both had local maps. I mean, I'm not saying that Elder Scrolls local map was amazing. It really wasn't, but at least I kind of had an understanding of like where I was at in the local area.
What?
What's this building? Armistice Archives.
After the UC Navy's defeat at the Battle of Cheyenne by the Freestar Collective's ragtag fleet, both sides decided the time had come to bring the colony war to an end. So, the two parties came together to negotiate the terms of the armistice. Fleet sizes would be capped, mechs and xeno-weapons outlawed, and all research related to those fields would be kept under lock and key in their own special archive, which actually rests below our feet as we speak. And while these new restrictions transformed the settled systems overnight, entire economies were upended with the flick of a pen. They also marked the start of something critical: cooperation between the United Colonies and the Freestar Collective for the first time in decades. A pledge between the powers for a more harmonious future. Thank you for listening.
The UC and the Freestar Collective traded a lot of lives for not a lot of gain. But I guess that's war, isn't it?
Yep.
You know, I honestly expected this place to be a lot more rah-rah UC. Maybe they learned their lesson.
This is a place for quiet reflection, so please keep chatting to a minimum.
Sorry, was I being too loud?
No, you weren't saying a single word.
You should see the setup they've got for the Vanguard orientation inside Mast. Makes this space look amateur.
I guess I will have to check that out eventually. I already talked to you. Ooh, elevator. Versus archives. Safeguard the past, secure the future. The Armistice Archives. We recall the cost of unfettered war. We stand as the bulwark of peace.
You got your clearances? Good.
Do I have clearances?
No funny business. Understand?
Why are you...
We run a tight ship down here.
Wearing two different uniforms. They just let me in here. Apparently I have clearances. Didn't know I had clearances. By order of the Armistice, Article 1361A, there shall be established a central archive guarded by three parties: the Freestar Collective, House Varun, and the United Colonies, for the collection and protection of all knowledge, research, and documentation depicting, describing, or in any way related to technologies and mechanisms banned by this oh my god. It shall be governed by the following laws. Allow access to all information in this archive will be mutually managed by all three parties. Access is only permitted by the unanimous agreement of authorized factional representatives. Number 2, the facility will be under the direct control of no sovereign faction, with no single party permitted to overrule the other. All decisions regarding matters pertaining to the archive must be unanimous. Number 3, any attempts to unauthorized access will be considered an act of aggression against all parties. Each party commits to defend the others against any such attempts. Notice 77 KXR. If you have any questions, please contact Mast Public Relations Desk. That's why they have different uniforms, because it's like three people, I guess, or three governments. Are those like cameras? It's kind of like the little balls from a little training sphere from Star Wars. Nobody working here, it would seem. It's looking really bad there. Let me close the door after me. Sorry. That's kind of interesting. Like, that's kind of like a neutral space for like things that they banned, or they collectively agreed that they banned, and that they can kind of like interact with those things that they've collectively banned, but only in this like safe space. I can't honestly see that working well.
Just tell me how many zeros I need to add to the offer.
I'm sorry, sir, but we can't sell to you. UC citizens only.
Ah, I think I understand. And the cost to put me down as a citizen would be what exactly?
Sir, bribery is a crime in the colonies.
Fine. Perhaps I'll just be having a chat with your superiors then. Good day. Wonder how much this citizenship is gonna run me.
Oh, I don't know. It's probably some
Looking to buy? Zora should be able to help you.
Silly thing where you have to like live there for an X amount of time, or take some silly test that doesn't actually prove that you're can be a citizen, because the citizens of their own country don't even know most of the answers to that test. Wink, wink, nod, nod.
It's a buyer's market right now. Good time to make a move.
Welcome to Feeling Realty. I'm Zora, and I'm here to help with whatever you may need. What brings you in today? Looking to settle down, or move up in the world, or just window shopping?
I don't think I could afford to live here. I'd like to find a place to live in New Atlantis. Just wandering it.
I don't blame you. It's a lovely city. The crown jewel of the UC. I'm here if you have any more questions, or if you'd like to look at properties.
I like to hear about what you have for sale.
Oh, don't I wish. Between UC regulations and demand here in the city, I haven't had a chance to branch out yet. But you best believe I'm keeping an eye on the situation, and actively lobbying for a little more leeway.
Okay.
Okay, let me just pull up your data. Oh, I'm sorry, but you're not a United Colony citizen. I'm afraid property ownership here in New Atlantis isn't available to you. If you take the exciting step of becoming a citizen, we'll be here for you. Stop by anytime.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't even explain how I become a citizen. You didn't even tell this man how he becomes a citizen. Like, You're like, oh yeah, this is how you get property, is you become a citizen. Okay, cool, 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 cool. How do I do that?
Broadened our hiring scope. Maybe that would change the culture.
I doubt it. Especially if the people doing the hiring are the same.
It's just an idea. I know the company
This space is a memorial to those lost during the Colony War. Your consideration is requested. Please be aware that those around you may be grieving.
That is actually not a lot of people that died, I'm gonna be honest with you. For something that you calling a war. Unless these are just like really important people or like towns or colonies. It's cool that there's a little memorial though. That's pretty realistic. Commercial district. I think I still gotta explore this direction and then we'll make our way to the commercial district.
You're out there a lot, right? In space? Just do us all a favor and never turn into one of those spacers. Scum of the galaxy. Robbing, stealing, killing. Even the Crimson Fleet don't trust them.
I mean, because they're like space crazies, which is what you're basically describing, or has been described as the spacers. Space crazies.
No loitering. Unless you've got embassy business, I suggest you mosey along.
Apparently I don't have any embassy business. Your water is very green. That does not look healthy. Doesn't look like there's anything up there.
Yes, exactly. It's like...
When someone insults you, you want to just beat the shit out of them sometimes, but you don't.
Well, not quite what I was thinking, but that's actually a great example, Marcus. The man in the story was cruel. Do you know why he was cruel? You must feel what he feels. Understand his pain. Accept it. And deliver it not back upon him.
Empathy. You mean empathy? But you say it like it's easy. Like anyone can just love a terrible person who has been terrible to them.
Yeah, why even bother? I mean, isn't the cycle of humanity peace and war back and forth, like forever? Seems kind of pointless to try so hard for something that won't last. Nothing ever really changes.
It's not easy, no, but necessary. Because you see, everything has changed. God has given us the intelligence, the ingenuity to reach into the stars, to travel his path, to truly find him. But we can't do it alone. The only way is through unity. Huh. Yes, Andreas. Yes. Unity. Well, I'm sure you all have other things to do. Thank you for taking the time to stop and talk with me.
He's giving me a lot to think about.
I may not always have the perfect advice for people, but I try to just be here for them. I think that's what they really need more than anything else. Were you seeking worldly wisdom or just a friendly ear?
You seem like a religious cult folk. I'm not seeking anything. The meaning of life would be good for a start.
Are you sure about that? I think we're all looking for something, even if we're not aware of it. I could be wrong, of course, wouldn't be the first time, but if you find you're desiring something more, perhaps the church can be of service. You might give something of our writings a read. See what you think. I'd recommend starting with Among the Graph Jumps. I'm sure there's a copy lying about somewhere. And if you'd like, we could have a little chat afterwards. I'll certainly be here for it, or any other reason you might need me. That's all right. I'm sure it just escaped your memory. So many things do over time. There must be a copy around here somewhere. If you do happen to peruse it, I would enjoy hearing your thoughts on the idea.
Totally. I don't think you're gonna like them, but I'll give it a look. No thanks, not interested.
Wonderful. I really would be happy to discuss it with you sometime.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh, hi there. I'm Marcus Lestari. Are you interested in the Sanctum Universum?
Not really, but, you know, I am a quest completer, so I don't want whatever you're selling, pal. It's not something that crossed my mind. Sure, I guess I'm interested.
Maybe I can entice you then. It's an exciting time for the church. We're growing every day. And if you're interested, we'd love to get to know you. Actually, we've had a few visitors come by recently, but they have yet to come visit us again. This
Can't
strikes
imagine
me
why.
as a good opportunity. I'm wondering, would you like to go check in with those visitors and welcome them back to our church? Maybe all they need is just another invitation. And don't worry, I'll pay for your effort, of course.
I like the depth of field. By the way, I don't know if I said this already in like conversations. Like I really like how they do it. My experience with a lot of depth of field stuff is like they blur out it sometimes blurs out like the a bit of the actual the foreground image, and so the foreground image doesn't look as crisp because they're trying to blur out the background image. But I would say that this has done a good job. It's the foreground images look really good, while the background image does look like I'm not focusing on that. I'm focusing on them. You know, it's pretty good. I don't think like previous Bethesda games did a great job at that type of thing. I think Fallout was the only other one where like you kind of zoom in on that person that you're talking to, like the camera zooms in on that person you're talking to, and Fallout 3 and New Vegas and stuff, like when they zoomed in, they kind of just paused the world and whatnot. And Fallout 4 like didn't, and at least I don't think it did. I don't remember. I know the most recent one I've ever played is Fallout 76, which is a whole nother argument in and of itself. But yeah, so it looks good is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, sure, I'll do it. Let me think about it. Why not reach out to them yourself as a member of the church?
Well, that's why. We want to keep growing our community, but sometimes people can be suspicious of others who are already heavily involved in the church.
I can't imagine why.
A new face like yourself might make the prior visitors more comfortable with returning. And you all may learn something along the way. Either something about the church or about yourselves.
I'm going to learn that I like completing quests, which I kind of feel like I already knew. Yeah, sure, I'll do that.
Excellent. Their names were Tony, Evie, and Johan. When you check in with them, give them one of these.
No
slates.
last names.
Just
I'm just supposed to look
something
at
welcoming them back.
Tony, Evie, and Jovan
if you want,
somewhere
take
in the
some time
city.
to talk with them, get to know them, and why they were interested in the Sanctum Universum. In any case, when you're done, come back to me, and I'll give you your payment.
I'm glad you're gonna pay me for that.
Have you ever heard one of his sermons? They're really good.
Who? That guy? No, I've never. had that sort of pleasure.
I had this graph jump once, and I don't know, I felt something. Thought I was crazy at first.
Dimensional aliens, yeah. It happens to me all the time.
Are you a member? Keeper Aquilus seems to know what he's talking about.
I like your hair. I was actually kind of considering doing that kind of hair. I really like that style of hair.
Pardon. Hey.
What you reading? Oh, you don't want me to read it? Okay, that's fair. You don't know me, so that's fair. Ah, this game looks so pretty. Just love the attention to detail. Like, I am so surprised, honestly. Like, this game visually has surprised me.
You know, there are folks I sometimes see only once every few years. In between, they're just out there, jumping.
Whatever that means.
The first time I came to New Atlantis, I met Thomas. Thought it was absolutely crazy. Oh, how that's changed. One simple jump. The same as I'd made dozens of times before, and something touched me. Something
Interdimensional aliens, yeah. Happens all the time.
Good.
Doesn't mean it's a divine thing. Among the grab jumps. I'm assuming this is their religious book. Okay. Here we go, everybody. Among the grab jumps. Among the grab jumps, God seeks you. Is God real? The more proper question would be, is reality divine? Existence itself is a mystery which yearns to be uncovered. What is goodness but a comparison to the good? What? What is goodness but a comparison to the good? What does that even mean? What is existence but a participation in being? Oh no, this is what this is gonna be like? Alright. Any common attribute invites comparison to some more pure form of it. And as we work our way up the tree of attributes, from the apples to red to color to waveforms to energy to space-time to existence, we find fewer and fewer branches to explore. All of reality eventually converges into a single point. Some call it Omega, others Tesla. Some call it God, but its true nature is best understood in another way. For where the diversity of the universe inspires awe and wonder, it exists only in contrast to a simplicity so pure that it may only be understood as primordial and even divine. To say that its existence is effectively redundant as it is, in fact, existence itself, our being derives from being. Our essence is what was imagined by its mind, but what we consider imagining and what we consider mind are in fact so far beyond our understanding that even these metaphors are like the tiny white caps on a massive surging sea. Most urgently, this being which gave rise to reality itself seeks to understand its consequence, by which I mean you and me. Our senses are limited and only able to... Whew, that was a page. I mentally was lost. Like, I understood very little of what he was trying to, or they were trying to say. Perceive three dimensions as only our helpless helplessly flung along the fourth in a single direction. But our finest mind tells us that the universe has at least 12 dimensions, and who knows what further knowledge may be revealed in time. From our meager capacity, the universe is not simply unexplored, but fully unknowable in a comprehensive sense. In any comprehensive sense. And so we rely on revelation. We submit ourselves to direct communion with the one source of truth. For truth is another of its attributes, even as the separate aspects resolved into simplicity. To know the truth, we must know the truth. I'm going crazy, right? Like that made no sense, right? No, you cannot tell me that that made sense. Okay. The only to know the truth, we must know the truth. Like ay. And that truth wishes to know us as well. Our physical embodiments are limited to movement in 3 dimensions, just as fabric is bound to and defined by its warp and weft. But we have a power that raises us above the unminded matter, and that merely exists without will. We can bend the fabric of space-time, rending warp from weft, peering through the veil that we may otherwise mistake for all that there is. When we do so, by jumping from point to point, we are not merely moving in space, but becoming voyagers into a new level of understanding. Those moments between grav jumps are not simply nothingness, but glimpses into the understanding of the mysteries that underlies all reality. To know what truth is to become closer to the divine ourselves. This is the purpose of our lives. The purpose of the Sanctum Universum is to guide you in these experiences so each opportunity to know is not squandered. Seek out Aquilus. Let him open your heart to the understandings that it is no different from your mind, and join us as we seek further communion and increase our sharing in the nature of the divine. Like, I can maybe kind of get some glimpses of like where they're coming from, but like, boy, the way that they write it is just nonsense. And like, I just feel like there's a plainer sense to say what you're trying to communicate here than like trying to like it weirdly makes me feel like you're communicating like something in a way where you're confusing the people you're communicating your message to, making it sound more important than what you're actually saying, so that they think that like what you're saying is actually important to them, and you know where they stand. And that's just because I just feel like this was a very long thing to say, and I feel like it could have been shortened down to like 1 page where you're just like, oh yeah, like, you know, we believe that like, you know, there's a way to like get to, you know, God, or, you know, whatever creature or whatever existence through the folding of, you know, fabric and space-time when we travel jump and stuff. And like, I just feel like there was a lot of words here and stuff just to kind of fill in. Oh, cool. Now I get to talk to him about this. Interesting. Isn't this the same?
Is there anything I can help with? There's so many mysteries in the universe, so many unknowns that I try to help out others.
Can you tell me about the
whenever I get the
Sanctum
chance.
Universum? You're a priest. I've read...
Keeper by title. But yes, I suppose the title fits. I'm very grateful that I have the opportunity to be here for those who need us, who find meaning in our message.
Nice. Can you tell me about the Sanctum Universum?
Well, we're a newer organization, at least officially. Our facility here in New Atlantis has only been around a few decades. But we're gaining new members all the time. I think people have been grasping for something to express what they're experiencing, and I'm glad we can be here for them.
I've read your writing.
Oh, wonderful. Tell me, what did you think?
I found it very engaging. I didn't care for it. The idea just didn't make any sense to me.
Oh, don't feel badly about that. It doesn't speak to everyone. Perhaps you just haven't had an experience that allows you to connect with it. Perhaps in time, this place will mean something to you too. But if not, that's all right. We'll be here either way if you ever need us.
I will say that his attitude is something that I wish most people of, like, you know, cultish or religious faith, you know, I felt and communicated with, because a lot of the times, like, there's like, oh, like, how dare you blaspheme, and, like,
will always be here.
I don't want to have anything to do with you, or they like look differently at you because you don't believe or whatever. You kind of seem more like, it's okay that, like, you don't see, you know, see like what we see, and that's fine and absolutely perfectly normal and whatnot. And, you know, hopefully you do see it one day, and if not, you're good. We're good. It's a very healthy way to look at it. You know, saying like, oh, it's not for everybody. Like, that's a very healthy way to look at it. But, like, that is not how a lot of, at least in my experience, right? Not my experience of, like, people communicating that sort of thing. You know, I want to get one of the companions to come with me. Let me go back and see if
Aquilus
I
has seen so
can get Vasco
much. I'm really glad
to come with me.
Not sure if those Varun zealots live in space or...
Let me run, actually. Wasting time. I meant to do that earlier, but I forgot. Yeah, so far the only thing I can nitpick, like, visually, is I think that the water looks very appalling. And I get it, water is sometimes very hard to make look like water, but, like, I don't know, there's something about the water in general that it just doesn't look real, and it comes off even looking way worse when the environment around it looks really good. You know, like in Skyrim, the water kind of looks meh, and same thing with Fallout, the water kind of looks meh, but, like, literally the environment looks meh. This, like, the environment looked good. Like, aside from, like, some, you know, shortcuts with, like, resources and when it comes to, like, foliage, obviously, and that's fine. I think it looks fine from, like, a relative distance. Like, that looks pretty and stuff. And same thing with that. Like, obviously, if I put up a magnifying glass on it, I mean, that looks good. But I mean, like, the actual foliage itself is kind of meh.
Everything good?
Yep, I'm
We're
fine.
here to help.
I'm sure. That's why you have guns. You know. Can you
I
follow
hope
me?
I am at your service,
I could
Captain.
use you on my crew.
Captain Eve, I will proceed to my assigned post.
Manage your crew. Review and change their assignments between your ships and outposts. Different crew have different skills which enhance your ship or outpost. Confirm, I guess.
Hello.
I'd like you to follow me for a while. Do you mind if I ask you?
I will follow behind you.
At least for now. Like, if I find any other, like, people to follow me, I will. I typically like robots and stuff. Like, but, like, he seems kind of boring, honestly. And honestly, he gets in the way a lot. Like in the small amount of time that I had him, like he got in the way a lot. And started fights too. Again, I think I said this last session that I was like, if there was the ability to build robots, I'd be entirely down that rabbit hole because that I find to be very cool.
The ancient teachers of this science, said he, promised impossibilities and performed nothing. The modern masters promise very little. They know that metals cannot be transmuted and that the elixir of life is a chimera, but these philosophers, whose hands seem only made to dabble in dirt and their eyes to pore over the microscope or crucible, have indeed performed miracles. They penetrate into the recesses of nature and show how she works in her hiding places. They ascend into the heavens. They have discovered how the blood circulates and the nature of the air we breathe.
Like as you can see, like the plants actually look good from a distance. The water does not look good from a distance. It just looks like, I don't know, like sludge. Looks sludgy. Doesn't look flowy like water.
Rather, let me say, such the words of the fate announced to destroy me. As he went on, I felt as if my soul were grappling with a palpable enemy. One by one, the various keys were touched, which formed the mechanism of my being. Chord after chord was sounded, and soon my mind was filled with one thought, one conception, one purpose. So much has been done, exclaimed the soul of Frankenstein. More, far more will I achieve.
I thought it sounded somewhat familiar, that's why I was kind of sitting there. Sorry for other people who were just like sitting there going like, why is he just listening to this person ramble? Because it just sounded familiar. And I was also interested in the fact that like, they were kind of sitting there like, you know, listening and stuff, like...
Sorry, but I need sign-off from the Interstellar Affairs office before I can set foot in there.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. It's plumbing, not a peace treaty.
It could cause an incident. It would mean my job, sir.
Fine. I'll begin the process. Wouldn't want to withhold a chance for more red tape from the great UC.
No doubt.
Always something to fix in New Atlantis. Never fails to remind you it's one of the oldest cities in the galaxy.
Unless you have embassy business, I suggest you move along.
Okay, man. It's just, you know.
We don't know the side effects of grab jump. Maybe they really did see a snake.
Hey, if you want to join house.
God, you are so loud, too.
Ryujin Industries is looking for the young, bright minds of the future. Apply today at the nearest kiosk.
I don't know anything about Ryujin. About us, there we go. Our mission statement: to deliver the best quality life improving technology today before you need it tomorrow. What a great slogan. Ryujin Industries has been a leader in technology since its creation. We strive towards advancement and believe there is always room for improvement. Fulfilling customer desire is our #1 goal. History. Ryujin Industries was founded by Ray D. Care. I'm not going to butcher that. I have no idea how to say that. Kari? Nope. And another person in 2307 had a dream of Descartes had a dream of applying her vast knowledge as a biotech engineer to the improvement of everyday